WAAY 31 First News at 11 in high definition.
Good morning and thank you for joining us for WAAY 31 First News at 11. I'm Meredith Wood. It is Friday, always a great day. We're going to check in with meteorologist Aris Arcelari as we get ready for the weekend. Yesterday was pretty rainy down in this part of the valley. You know, what's it going to be like today? Because it's definitely been hot and humid all week.
It has been. We don't have as much rain around right now as what we had yesterday at this time. But during the afternoon, we'll still have some showers and storms developing. So, you know, be on the lookout for that. Right now, we're dry. The Tennessee Valley, not looking at any rain falling across the entire region. But you zoom out a little bit, and you can still see kind of that overall counterclockwise spin toward our west. So there's still little disturbances down here toward our south, and those are going to be kicked up by this area of low pressure kind of this direction throughout the day today. Much like the last couple of days, that's how things have been moving for the most part. So, again, expect a couple of showers and storms. They'll be hit or miss, though. A lot of us won't see any rain. Some of us will see some rain. If you got caught under one of those little downpours, then definitely expect that it's going to be very heavy rain. Now, we've got a mix of sun and clouds right now, so it's a beautiful start to the afternoon. A little bit on the humid side. We'll talk more about the forecast and take a look ahead toward warmer weather. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes, Meredith.
At the White House this morning, President Obama met face-to-face with Veterans Affairs Secretary Eric Shinseki. At that time, the retired four-star general resigned his position. With the latest, ABC's Preeta Arla.
Following a 40-minute talk with President Obama at the White House, Veterans Affairs Secretary Eric Shinseki stepped down. The president said he agrees with Shinseki that it's time for new leadership.
And a few minutes ago, Secretary Shinseki offered me his own resignation. With considerable regret, I accepted.
Earlier this morning, Shinseki took responsibility for the problems plaguing the VA system. He admitted his original belief was wrong. Issues with veteran wait times for care at VA hospitals are not isolated.
We now know that VA has a systemic, totally unacceptable lack of integrity within some of our veterans' health facilities. That breach of integrity is irresponsible, it is indefensible, and unacceptable to me.
Shinseki had laid out steps to fix the problems, but he couldn't overcome the growing drumbeat of calls for his resignation. More than 100 members of Congress on both sides of the aisle wanted him to go.
We don't have time for distractions. We need to fix the problem.
Sloan Gibson, the current VA Deputy Secretary, will run the department for the time being. But there's already criticism, with some saying new leadership needs to come from the outside. Preeti Arla, ABC News, Washington.
A prostitution bust in Limestone County sends 3 women to jail. Deputies arrested these women at a massage parlor in Elkmont. They're charged with second-degree promoting prostitution and soliciting prostitution. Deputies raided the Pine Tree Spa next to the Elkmont truck stop near I-65. Investigators say the women offered undercover agents sex for money on multiple occasions. FBI human trafficking agents were also involved. The sheriff says this isn't the first time they've made arrests there.
You know, they change these girls out, about every month or every couple of weeks, and it's kind of, they come in here, the house, gets most of the money, and then even gets part of the tips that these girls receive. So it's nothing more than a prostitution ring.
Deputies also found $12,000 in cash hidden at the spa. Huntsville police busted an internet prostitution ring as well. The sting was conducted after complaints from people and businesses in town. 4 people were arrested, including DeJuan Stevens. He's charged with 2 counts of human trafficking. He was booked into the Madison County Metro Jail on $100,000 bond. 3 women are also charged with soliciting prostitution. A World War II veteran hoping to make it to France for the D-Day ceremony next week may be able to get a passport after all. Sherwin Callender was born in Canada, but his mother is a U.S. citizen. Despite living in this country for 91 years, fighting in World War II, owning a business, and paying his taxes for decades, Callender does not have enough proof needed to show the government that he's an actual citizen of this country. If Callender can make it to Atlanta today or Monday, he should be able to get a passport so he can travel out of the country.
If I don't get to go, I'm afraid, excuse me, I'm afraid it'll be my last chance.
The ceremony is June 6th in Normandy, France, at the site of the attack. A month after tornadoes hit Limestone County, Clements High School held their graduation ceremony Thursday. 55 students at Clements High School are without homes after the storms hit. Even though renovations continue on Clements High School, seniors were ready to get those diplomas. And one senior says even though her family's home was damaged, the storms brought her family and the community together.
I'm so thankful for the lives and the safety of not only my family but my classmates and my teachers and faculty, since we were all here and experienced this. I'm thankful that we have this school right now, and I'm just thankful for everything, even more so than I would have been.
The senior class donated almost $6,000 they raised on their own to tornado victims. Lawyers for the state and for parents have asked a judge to stay his order blocking the Alabama Accountability Act. Yesterday, Circuit Judge Gene Reese ruled the school choice law unconstitutional. He issued an injunction that would keep families from taking advantage of tax credits and scholarships. If the judge stays his order, the act would be in effect while an appeal is pending. The House of Representatives passed the NASA budget for 2015. The measure passed this morning, giving the agency $17.9 billion. That means NASA is getting about $250 million more this year than last. The Space Launch System here in Huntsville will have adequate resources to continue developing flights. The bill heads to the Senate now for a vote. Some Alabama lawmakers say it's time to exit the booze business. Senator Arthur Orr is drafting a bill to shut down ABC stores. He introduced a similar bill late in the legislative session, and he says it would save Alabama taxpayers millions of dollars. WAAY 31's Deborah Daniel has more.
I'm still a little bit higher than the ABC stores because I got to make a living.
David Leone owns R&R Liquor, and he buys all his alcohol from the state.
And I got to go to the warehouse, pick up my liquor, then I bring it back and put it on the shelf and sell it.
Under Senator Arthur Orr's bill, that would stay the same. The state would stay in the wholesale and control business, but get out of retail.
Why should the state be in the retail business competing against private enterprise down the street?
Orr's bill would shut down Alabama's 178 ABC stores, leaving liquor sales to private owners. He says it will save the state up to $48 million a year and help owners like Leone.
They want the state to get out of the business because the state undercuts them on price every time.
But the Alabama Alcoholic Beverage Control Board says ABC stores generate $200 million a year for the general fund, and the only taxpayers impacted are those who drink alcohol. And it says ending state control of sales would create a real problem. Liquor stores popping up all over the place. Washington recently privatized alcohol sales and went from 300 state stores to 1,500 liquor stores. But Orr says it's time for the state to stop competing with what he calls mom-and-pop businesses and move into the 21st century. The state legislature created the ABC Board and state control of all liquor in 1933, just 5 years after the end of Prohibition.
And Alabama is one of the few full control states left in the country.
Closing those stores would mean 600 people would lose their jobs, but Orr says there would be special concessions for any private stores that hire former ABC workers. He plans to introduce the bill when the next legislative session begins next March. Crimes against women across the country are on the rise, and that's forcing many women to carry guns. Jackson County deputies are teaching some local women how to use firearms after many women asked for help.
It just brings peace to me that I know that if I have to use my weapon, I'm going to know how to use it appropriately.
If you would like to take a gun safety class, just call the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Cyber theft has compromised the security of big businesses in the U.S. in recent months. Are we safe, and what is being done here in Huntsville to combat cyber hacking? WAAY 31's Alex Finney has the details.
We need to be more concerned about our digital security than physical, because digital is where we're losing it.
Agrawal says there are two big reasons for cyber hacking.
One is money. of course. There's so much money riding on this.
We're talking billions of dollars lost each year to cyber hacking in the U.S. He says the second reason, national security.
Governments out there are actually spying on other governments because of national security.
Just last week, the U.S. charged 5 Chinese army officers with cyber theft against major American businesses.